And I have just one message about management. It's only one message. And that one message about management is it's the manager's role to create the time and space for good people to do great things. The time and space for good people to do great things, because that's what we do. That's the business we're in. Only the front line matters. Everything we do should be focused within our mind, the memory of what we've just seen, because we all play a part, whether we're in the finance department, the estates department, pathology, behind the scenes, whatever it is, we all play a part to create the time and space for good people to do great things. We've got in-store video where there are people queuing up to use the self-checkouts and the ordinary checkouts are empty. It's amazing. We're queuing up to do it ourselves. You know, how crazy are we? Well, that's because that's one of the first rules of change. People love change if they think they're in charge. That's a take-home message. People love change if they think they're in charge. People want to be in charge. It's always so much more convenient, isn't it? All those things that we do in our normal life, we don't do that here. You know, we don't do it. And if we think about, you know, how we're going to have to start doing things differently. I mean, think about just, for example, I don't know, diabetes. Think about diabetes. There are 3.8 million of us who have diabetes. The statistics are horrendous. Apparently, it's going to be 5 million in 2 years. Now, we can't look after 5 million people with diabetes. With the best will in the world, we just can't do it. So what are we going to have to do? Well, first of all, it would be good to help people not to become diabetic in the first place, but that's a kind of generation thing. And secondly, you know, the customer adding value to the business. The patient adding value to the NHS. How does that work? The patient adding value to the NHS. Well, it means that, I mean, now if you get diabetes, you say, look, you got diabetes. I'm really sorry you got diabetes, you know. And we love bomb them, don't we? We give them every service we can think of with diabetes. But, you know, there are a lot of people who've got diabetes. We can say you got diabetes. Now, I'm sorry you got diabetes, but it's your diabetes. You've got to look after it. We'll show you how, but it's your diabetes. Now that changes the whole basis, doesn't it, of the patient relationships that we have? We have to think very carefully about this. But the banks have done it. The supermarkets are doing it. What would that mean? Well, it would mean that, you know, baby boomer generation, diabetic comes through, an intelligent person, net savvy, used to using a mobile phone and the internet. We could manage most diabetics in that way entirely remotely. The default position becomes we will manage you remotely. And on your iPhone, we can give you the kit for you to test yourself, and we can send it, you can send it off to an algorithm somewhere, and if you're an outlier, someone will ring you up and say, hi. Your stats are a bit funny today, and you say, yeah, I was at the match last night and I drank 17 pints. Perhaps you wouldn't have done that, but you know what I mean. Or you might say, do you know what, I've had flu-like symptoms for a fortnight, I don't feel very good. And you say, go and see the nurse. What we need to do is to start with the patient and work back, because we say this guy has had a heart attack. What is the best treatment we could give him? The best we can do, and we start with the patient and we work back. And the more you work back, the more difficult it gets. The bigger the management challenge. You start with the patient and work backwards. You don't put them in the middle of everything we do now and call it patient-centered. So I stood on the stage like this, and I just somehow or other, it came into my head. I said, wouldn't it be good if we had some kind of central repository where people could say, hi, ring somebody up and say, hi, I've got a problem with my chemotherapy targets. Has anybody else got the same problem that you could help me with? Anybody? I said, wouldn't it be good if we had something called the Academy of Fabulous Stuff? And I came off the stage and I thought, do you know what, I'm going to do it. So here I am, a shed load of money later, and a server the size of Milton Keynes. And we now have the Academy of Fabulous Stuff. Well, we encourage people like you working on the wards and in your departments to share the things that you do well. We've been going for a year. We have had 500,000 page views. People wanting to share things. We have 40 people a day sending us stuff to put on the website. There is a huge appetite for sharing the good stuff.